So it looks like the sales of the Cybertruck are collapsing. Now, this isn't particularly all that surprising given that Tesla sales in general have been struggling, but for the Cybertruck, it's looking particularly bad. Their sales in the last quarter are half of what they were the previous two. According to a Forbes-based article, the Austin-based company delivered 6,406 Cybertrucks. That quarterly figure was less than half of what it sold in either the third or fourth quarter of 2024. Now, on top of all of this, the used market for the Tesla Cybertrucks are also collapsing. All across the country, there are about 2,400 units that are not sold, and Tesla is sitting on about 200 million worth of unsold Cybertrucks. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening as always. Today, it's just more bad news for the Cybertruck. Now, when Musk was initially talking about it, he'd forecasted that there'd be annual sales of about 250,000 Cybertrucks. And I don't know how he came up with that number. It doesn't really make sense to me. But nonetheless, on his first year, it delivered about 39,000 units sold, which was a far cry from that 250,000. But it wasn't bad for a first year for a truck that would cost about, $100,000. Well, in order to get to that 250,000 number, it would have to see sales increase for the year of 2025. And so far for the first quarter, it's halved. It's not even going to reach that 39,000 number from last year, let alone the 250,000 projection that Musk had it paced for. Now, Tesla sales have been struggling recently. That's not news to anybody. They've been struggling in Europe, China, and North America. A lot of that has to do with Musk's involvement in politics and a lot of the controversies he's been getting himself into. But you also have to factor a lot of the vandalism people have been seeing on the news. This includes vandalism against Tesla vehicles and individual owners, as well as vandalism against a lot of these dealerships. This has discouraged a lot of people from buying a new Tesla, and it has also encouraged a lot of current owners to sell their Tesla. However, there have been rumors that Musk is now planning to step down from Doge to sort of stop the bleeding that's been happening in Tesla, although in my opinion, he should also just step down from Tesla as well. That would, I think, probably be much more beneficial to the brand, as I think his image is now too toxic to be rehabilitated for a lot of people. But nonetheless, Tesla as a whole has been struggling, and so that plays a part into the Cybertruck's struggles. Now, there has been a cheaper Cybertruck option that has come out this year, which is about $10,000 cheaper. However, all this has done for the most part is put a lot of pressure on used Cybertrucks, which were already plummeting in value. But now that you have about $10,000 difference between a used Cybertruck and a new Cybertruck, I think for a lot of people, it's just going to make much more sense to get that new one instead, which I think is going to further put more pressure on these used Cybertrucks. So if you are someone who has a used Cybertruck, I think this would probably be the best time to sell, as I think that the values are only going to go down. Now, here's the thing. While I do believe that Tesla could make a rebound, other models could make a rebound, I don't think that'll be the case for the Cybertruck. The reality of the situation is most full-size electric trucks are just not practical. And this is even worse with the Cybertruck. With its sheer weight and design, it just doesn't make sense. It's just not pragmatic. And there really is no use case for it in which it would be better off to use it instead of, let's just say, a gas or a diesel truck. So the only people who are going to buy it or people who want to buy it, people who are fans of the brand. So ultimately, this is just going to be a niche market. And I think Musk trying to mass produce this just does not make sense. He definitely missed the mark on this one. This was supposed to be something like luxury vehicles, where there was going to be a small but very loyal market, and it's going to be produced for that consumer base. But Musk, due to miscalculation, stubbornness, or ego, whatever you want to call it, decided that this could be sold at 250,000 units a year. Well, that's just not going to happen. That's just the reality of the situation. And now I know Musk said in one interview that he does zero market research whatsoever with regards to the products that he puts out there. But at some point or another, he's going to have to acknowledge that he's going to need to change his strategy for the Cybertruck, assuming that it is salvageable. I do think that if you cut down or scale down the expectations for the Cybertruck, that it could work. But currently, at the rate that they're trying to sell it, it does not make any sense, neither on a business level or on a pragmatic use case level. And ultimately, that's why they're sitting on $200 million worth of unsold Cybertruck inventories, and you have a lot of dealerships across the country that can't sell these things. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this, make sure to click like and subscribe. See you in the next one.